Hey guys, I'm James. This week the Rebel base builds an Anzellan diorama. What's an Anzellan? Those tiny little guys you've seen in the Star Wars films and the Mandalorian. Let's check out the build. A little while ago I was inspired by the Mandalorian's portrayal of the Anzellans, and I thought this would be a good time to brush up on my organic modelling skills, which is not something that I'm hugely comfortable with. As a skill, it certainly lags behind my hard surface modelling ability. However, I managed to get my head around an app called Forger on my iPad. I grabbed some reference images from the movies and shows, and I started to sculpt my version of the Anzellan. This was always going to be an inspired by version, so I could add my own ideas into the mesh. I modelled the Anzellan in separate elements: torso, legs, head and hands, which is not the best way to do it. However, it worked for me. I then merged all of the pieces together and explored some basic poses in the Forger app. So I took my base mesh into a browser-based software known as Mixamo. Mixamo is an auto-rigger which uses a clever algorithm to identify biped features and apply a virtual skeleton. With the skeleton applied, I was able to add some random animations, which are included in the program. I then re-downloaded the meshes with the animations and chose key points on the animation timeline where the characters were in a pose that I liked. I then exported each stance and applied it to 3 separate Anzellan meshes. Next, I modelled some accessories for each, including a few types of headgear, a utility work belt, and a tool. Finally, I exported these little guys as STL files and sent them to my resin printer. The next step was to create a cobblestone base, and that cool little doorway as seen in The Mandalorian. Once completed, I sent these to my printer also. The next step was, for me, the most terrifying of all: miniature painting. I'm using Citadel contrast paints. Just slap them on and they do all the work for you. No fancy techniques needed, just pure painting fun. I started with a bit of skeleton horde. A few coats of this and I found the right colour. I then added a little green for contrast. You can load your brush up with a good amount and let it flow. Don't worry about being too precise, these paints love a bit of messiness. As you paint, you'll notice the colours doing their thing, creating shadows, highlights and depth, all in one swipe. Eventually the shadows and highlights started to look like something, so I moved on to the accessories, on which I used contrast Wiley wood. You didn't think I was going to let the weathering powder just sit idly by, did you? Of course not. This stuff is actually really great at creating leather effects when applied over the base coat. It also dulls the paint down a little, resulting in a lived-in feel. I then focused on the accessories. I added highlights using my Tamiya weathering silver rub, and this made the goggles really pop. I used a combination of washes and powders to create contrast on these cobblestones. I then created a few different shades of green-grey and painted random cobbles, which added to the realistic look. I finished the diorama with a light grey dry brush to add further contrast to the details. The last step was to add some greenery. I tried something new here with scattergrass powder and PVA glue. It worked a treat and complemented the little green tufts nicely. Some simple steps here can go a long way to creating a pleasing finish on your diorama. These tiny beings are like the underdogs of the universe, but don't let their size fool you. They've become famous all over the galaxy for their mad skills in droid repair, and they do it from their secret little workshops. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the episode and enjoy my builds, please do like, subscribe and share. Tell your friends about my channel, it really helps.